Let's look at the front page of the websites, which is where I'm reading from this morning, the newspaper website, online papers. And in today's edition from the Punch newspaper, Presidency berates ex-US envoy magazine over Nigeria is failing report. We'll bring you the full detail of that one in a bit, but let's take more headlines. Police arrest 3-man gang for stealing victims 572,000 naira through ATM. This gunmen and this, horrible people are finding new ways to, steal from people these days. They take POS machines to people's homes. When they can't get enough, they drag them to the ATM machine and get as much as they can. God help us. Also in papers this morning, ex-employee burgles ex-boss office, hides in water tank. This is a particularly sad one. It is a story of a 300-level Uniloring student. The Kwara State Police Command confirmed the suspect was raped and murdered. She was a 300-level student of the University of Ilorin, Olajide Omomi Blessing, in her residence located at Tanke area of the Ilorin metropolis. The deceased said to be staying with her elder sister in the area until her death. Was a student of the Agricultural Science Department from Okiopin community in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. The police public relations officer gave details of the killing of the deceased, saying that the deceased stayed with her elder sister. The elder sister came back from work at about 6 p.m. on Tuesday, saying that she had tried severally to reach her on phone but couldn't, as the phone kept ringing. She came back from work to meet the door of her apartment locked and couldn't gain entry despite repeated knocks on the door. She then called some neighbors who helped to break open the door. They all met the deceased lying dead on the floor when they entered with her 2 hands tied to the back and her mouth gagged. She was met naked. Bruises were noticed on her private part. Her mouth was covered, amongst others. Well, I really do hope that they can drag out, whoever was, behind this, and that this, girl will get justice for Olajide Omomi Blessing, because this is just simply preposterous. All right, taking more headlines this morning. Foreign stock investors withdraw 99.94 billion naira in 4 months. From the Punch newspaper, in the front page still, to stop abduction, sponsor factional bandits, Gumi tells federal government. Also in the papers, Oshun bank robbers missed bullion van conveying cash, according to a source. Also, getting new constitution almost impossible, says National Assembly. And this is for those who are really kicking for a new constitution and saying that, the old constitution cannot serve us, cannot do much for us. I believe the details of that story is somewhere here, where I think someone from that, I will get that story in a bit. But let's take more. Okay, here it is. It says, Speaker of the House of the National Assembly has said it will be difficult to repeal the 1999 Constitution and enact a new law for Nigeria, noting that there are stringent conditions for achieving it. The Deputy President of the Senate and Chairman of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Constitution Review, Senator Ovie Omoagege, said it is not impossible, but it is difficult. He also said while several social, political, and cultural groups, as well as prominent Nigerians, were clamoring for a new constitution, the Parliament had yet to receive a memorandum seeking to amend Section 9 of the Constitution. Omoagege made this known while featuring on Politics Today, current affairs program on channels monitored by a Punch correspondent in Abuja. The Deputy Senate President was asked about the possibility of having a new constitution, as the 1999 Constitution in operation had been criticized as a fraud imposed by the military on the country. And he said, frankly, this very issue has become topical of late. Some of us, we can accept and tolerate that from people who don't know, but it becomes a little bit perplexing and annoying. In fact, when you hear people who ought to know and indeed do know that we do not have the powers to write a new constitution, when they call for it, the only power we have is to alter the constitution, and that is what the extant legal orders provides for. The framers of the constitution, and I was not one of them, in their wisdom decided that it would be best to have incremental alterations as opposed to a total overhaul, a total rewrite. And that is why they provided under Section 9 of the Constitution on how to go about it. What the law says is that we can alter any provision of the Constitution. It does not say we can alter all of the provisions of the Constitution. And the provision sets out the methodology and the mode for doing just that. And it says, don't forget, those who ask us to do a rewrite, they forget that in Section 9, for you to do a rewrite of a new Constitution, you need to amend Section 9 of the 1999 Constitution. And for you to amend the Section 9 of the Constitution, you require 4/5 in the Senate. And that is about 88 senators of the 109 and 288 of the 360 members of the House of Reps, just for you to amend that Section 9 itself. So perhaps people need to start to tension their senators, whoever is representing them, to look at Section 9. So I guess the power belongs to us. If you want, a rewrite of the Constitution, the senator here is saying that we need to look at Section 9. And the only way to look at Section 9, amend Section 9, is to get 88 senators of the 109 and 288 of the 360 members of the House of Reps, just for you to amend that Section 9 itself. Knowledge is power. When we know better, we can do better. Omar Agege also stated that to amend the Section 9, a bill has to be sponsored to seek the alteration. All of these things are not impossible, like he said. It may be difficult, but not impossible. And he says, as I speak to you, we have received more than 350 memoranda on the amendment of the Constitution, and not one is requesting an amendment of the Section 9 of the Constitution. That is probably they know how difficult it is to muster 88 votes out of 109. To even muster 2/3 of the vote is almost impossible, not to talk about 4/5 of the Senate and the House of Representatives. But the bottom line is this: under the extant Constitution, the only thing we are permitted to do is increment, amendment, or alteration, and this is not new. He said those who are agitating for a new constitution should meet with their lawmakers so that areas they did not like would be amended. The Deputy Senate President, however, stated that only amendments that would maintain the unity of the country would scale through. I'm taking time to read through all of this because we talk about this all the time on the Morning Splash and straight from the dailies. People are constantly talking about how this 1999 Constitution, we have to do away with it. We have to do away with it. And it's important to know how to do away with it. When we know how, then we can take the move to actually do it. Is it impossible? No. But like I said, is it difficult? Absolutely. So you can read more on that. There's still more. He spoke extensively about this. You can watch the video. I'm sure it'll be online somewhere. But you can read the draft of this in the Punch newspaper. All right, also in the papers this morning, real quickly, corps members part of defense can be mobilized for war. And I think we have definitely talked about this before. I remember Plato mentioned something to this effect weeks ago. Here, the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, says corps members are part of the national defense policy of Nigeria and can be mobilized for war if need be. Ibrahim said this on Channels Television Sunrise Daily on Wednesday while reacting to moves to scrap the NYSC scheme, which is compulsory for all Nigerians who graduate before the age of 30. The NYSC boss said, you can imagine within the short 3 weeks in the orientation camps, the corps members are molded. They're like soldiers. You see female corps members blowing the army horn, playing with the military band. So if not for the knowledge, why are you going to mobilize such young Nigerians to train them quickly to put in their best for the country? So corps members are on reserve. They're also part of the national defense policy. Parents should teach their children the spirit of patriotism. He said the NYC was concerned about the security of corps members, adding that this was why they had been advised not to move around at night. I mean, there are quite a number of people who I know who go to America and sign up in the army. We see a lot of young people who are fighting for, the United States of America, who have joined the army. Why are we so, why are we so against the idea, of young people actually being assigned to, the military? Well, let's just think about that. I know a lot of people have lots of reasons. Yes, Nigeria is not worth dying for. Nigeria is not. But until we do have to be patriotic. There are people who are there day and night who are fighting for this country, and there are people who have lost fighting for this country. But I believe if we don't love this country enough to fight for it, I'm not sure what will happen to our country. Well, the presidency on Thursday knocked an American magazine of international relations and U.S. foreign affairs for publishing what it called a fact-shifting article on Nigeria. It said this in reaction to an article entitled "The Giant of Africa is Failing," which appeared in the current edition of the magazine. The presidency's position was contained in a statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, titled "Giant of Africa is Failing, Stating the Facts." The statement reads, the latest article on Nigeria in Foreign Affairs titled The Giant of Africa is failing is unfair both to a magazine with such an esteemed pedigree and to its readers. Ambassador Campbell has been predicting the collapse of Nigeria for several years. He is, of course, entitled to his opinions, even where events consistently prove him wrong. But facts should not be bent to support distorted opinions. You can get more on that. I haven't got more time left, so let's read more headlines. Nigeria, now a country flowing with bitterness and sadness. This is former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who has said that Nigeria, which used to be known as a country flowing with milk and honey, is now a country flowing with bitterness and sadness with the rising insecurity and the decline in the economy. He added Nigeria has been destined to lead the black race, but the failure of leadership has impeded it from taking its place in the Committee of Developed Nations. All right, Nigerians in pain, provide good leadership. That is the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom. Also in the papers this morning, presidency rejects Campbell's claim on Nigeria. And then, of course, do you remember the Sex for Marks investigation that was done by the BBC? I believe at that time the lecturers that were in the video have finally been sacked. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has said the recent disciplinary action taken by the management of Unilag against 2 erring academic staff indicted in the Sex for Marks scandal would not only serve as a deterrent to other members, but also redeem the reputation of the institution, describing the decision as excellent. So, I mean, glad that that investigation did not go to waste. This is definitely a good one. All right, that's all we can do today on Straight from the Dailies. But bear in mind, at 8 o'clock, we'll be back. We being the Breakfast Gang on the morning show here. Sheon Akinola, Charity Jerome, and I will be back here at 8 o'clock to look at the headlines, stories that make headlines this week. So make sure to join us. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. Good morning.
Splash FM 105.5.
Ohun tó yẹni ló yẹni, ìrọ̀rùn ló yẹ àwọn oníbàárà wa. Nítorí náà, ní ìgbàkúùgbà tí o bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ láti ilé ìfowópamọ́ Access sí ilé ìfowópamọ́ mìíràn tí owó náà lọ, lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ la ó fún ọ ní owó rẹ padà tàbí ká dá owó tí a máa ń gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ padà fún ọ lẹ́ẹ̀márùn-ún. Èyí túmọ̀ sí wípé ní gbogbo ìgbà tí a bá fi owó ránṣẹ́ tí kò lọ rárá fún ìdí kan tàbí òmíràn, lọ́jọ́ náà la ó dá gbogbo owó rẹ padà o. Tí a kò bá dá padà ní ọjọ́ kan, a ó fún ọ ní ìlọ́po 5 owó tí a bá gbà lórí ìfowóránṣẹ́ rẹ. Ìdí nìyí tí a fi ń fọwọ́sọ̀yà wípé ìrọ̀rùn ẹ̀yin oníbàárà wa ló jẹ wá lógún o. Access ojú ìfowópamọ́ lọ.
Enter the place and it brighten. Make everybody they wonder. Waiting they cause all the shine. Lush hair. Long hair or short doesn't matter. Crochet or dreadlocks can be better. Only for girls we know better. Lush hair. So you want to slay? Slay with swag. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. Straight or curly. You know they tango. Lie. Gotta be lush hair. Gotta be lush hair. You wonder how I shine like this. I'm on a lush hair, be the coco. Say you want to know. And if you wanna be fine like me, I can show you where to go. A lush hair, be the coco.
Beautiful people know how to make an impression, and that's why they only trust Lush Hair Extensions to bring out the shine in them. Lush Hair, be beautiful.
It is time for celebration. 30 years busting with goodness. No challenge can ever stop us. You can't underrate us. You can't underrate. Busting with so much greatness. Enjoy our world of
já sí pọ́ọ̀sì bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ó yẹ kó kọ́kọ́ kan ní kẹ́.
ta ló sọ yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ni ṣe ń ṣe pásítà tèmi nìyẹn o àti pé golden penny ni pásítà tí kì í lẹ̀pọ̀ kò sí ìyọnu.
àwọn èmi fẹ́ ṣe pẹ̀lú ṣàjẹ́ àti oríṣiríṣi àtàkà tí kò kún náà ti rú woro.
Gbádùn golden penny pasta bó o ṣe fẹ́ a ṣe golden penny pasta pẹ̀lú èpo àlìkámà durum wheat tó ní protein tí kì í sì lẹ̀pọ̀ o ní àǹfààní láti sè é bù tàbí jẹ bó o ṣe fẹ́ nítorí pé kò ní lẹ̀pọ̀ pẹ̀lú golden penny pasta bó o ṣe fẹ́ ló dáa jù.
Nowadays, I keep saying, oh, a whole lot because everyone would stop surprising me. My hubby does the dishes and prepare the kids for school before I wake. Aww. Even when my daughter makes me a cup of tea with 3 Crowns milk.
Mom, we've got you now and always with the low cholesterol goodness your heart needs to keep the rhythm of the family